Alright, so I love mushrooms, love mushrooms. And if there's one Korean dish that really knows how to let them shine, it's japchae. Aside from barbecue, japchae is probably one of the most popular dishes in any Korean restaurant. Stir-fried glass noodles with vegetables and meat in a sweet and savory sauce. I mean, what's not to love? This simple and healthy japchae recipe will easily become your new weeknight go-to. Exact measurements will be in the description, and consider subscribing so you never miss out on any new modern Korean recipes. I release new episodes every Tuesday and Thursday. And with all that being said, let's make some japchae. Korean glass noodles are made with sweet potato starch and come in a variety of shapes and colors. These ones are made with purple sweet potato and also come in a wide noodle, while these ones have celery added to them to give them a really cool green color. We'll be using pork belly for this, but you can substitute for anything you'd like. When looking for pork belly, try to get one that has an even fat to meat ratio, otherwise just trim off any excess fat. Slice the pork belly thinly into half-inch pieces. In a medium-sized bowl, add 1 tablespoon of minced garlic, 1 tablespoon of Doenjang, 2 tablespoons of Gochugaru, half a cup of soy sauce, 1 teaspoon of sesame oil, half a cup of apple juice, and 1.5 tablespoons of rice syrup, giving it a good whisk to make sure everything is combined. The marinade will help to break down and tenderize the pork belly since it's such a tough cut of meat. Let it sit in the fridge for at least 1 hour, but the longer the better. Take a bunch of fresh spinach and cut the ends off, then cut the whole thing in half. Blanch the spinach in boiling water for 5 to 10 seconds before shocking it in cold water. Peel, slice, and julienne 1 carrot. Thinly slice 2 large green onions and about a cup's worth of green cabbage. And now for the stars of the show. I'm using oyster, shiitake, and cremini mushrooms, but feel free to use any you'd like. Remove the stems from each one and thinly slice. Now that our veg is all prepped, we can move on to the noodles. Using a kitchen scale, weigh out about 125 grams worth of the glass noodles, or about 63 grams per person. Glass noodles are super long noodles, so I usually break mine in half, but you do you. Add them to a large bowl and cover them in boiling water. This is just going to soften them, they won't be fully cooked yet. This next step is optional, but you'd be insane to skip it. We're going to be making fried mushroom chips to go on top. In a shallow pan, heat about 1 inch of canola oil on medium-high heat. Then add half a cup of sliced shiitake mushrooms. I've tried this with several other types of mushrooms, but they're never as good. Continue frying until golden brown and most of the bubbles have stopped, about 3 minutes. What you'll end up with is a nutty, slightly smoky mushroom chip. If shiitakes weren't so expensive, I'd eat an entire bowl full. They're that good. Finally, heat a large heavy bottom pot on medium-high heat. You can use a wok for this, and I usually do, but since most people don't have one, I'll be using my Dutch oven instead. Add the marinated pork belly, squeezing out any excess liquid. Then turn the heat down to medium and continue to cook until the fat starts to render and the pork gets some color. Then add 1 tablespoon of minced garlic and cook for 1 minute. Add all of the prepped vegetables to the pot, followed by a 1/4 cup of rice wine. Make sure to scrape up any brown bits on the bottom. Make a well in the middle of the pot and crack 2 large eggs. Give them a quick mix and cook until they're just set. Then scrape them up and mix everything together. Add the softened glass noodles. Unlike most noodles, glass noodles are pretty strong and hold their shape even when cooked for a long time. For the sauce, add a 1/4 cup of soy sauce, 1 teaspoon of sesame oil, 1.5 tablespoons of mirin, and 1/3 cup of Chinese oyster sauce. Give everything a good mix and continue to cook until the sauce is thickened, about 3 to 4 minutes. Spoon it into a bowl, top with the fried mushroom chips and toasted sesame seeds. And that's it. Japchae. Thanks for watching. Consider subscribing so you don't miss out on any new modern Korean recipes. I release new episodes every Tuesday and Thursday. You can also follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Reddit for more content.